Hey there, Coach Alexa here. I've given blood recently, as I do fairly regularly, so I thought I'd give you a bit of a whistle-stop tour about the bounce back time, I guess, for the various different components of our blood that we give away in a donation session, and particularly what impact that might have on our training. So I'm going to start with the things that are quickest to bounce back and replenish to the longest. So that the first one is water. So we donate around a pint of blood. The average person, and this varies basically according to how physically big you are and how big your blood volume is. It has around 10 pints. So we donate roughly, for the average person, 1/10 of our overall blood volume. Half of our blood is water. Luckily, that is incredibly quick to replenish. It's almost immediate. It's why they send you little reminder messages here in the UK, at least, about drinking loads before your donation. They hand you a cup of juice when you arrive. They force more juice on you before you go. That lower physical blood volume can be the reason why you might get a little bit lightheaded post donation, because your blood pressure is lower because you've got less blood in your system. And also, if you're then going out and it's why they say no, strenuous exercise for the next 24 hours. If you're trying to go out and do more exercise, or if it's just a really, really hot day like it is today, you're not going to have as much available to sweat and keep you cool. So priority number one is just drinking lots of water. You maybe with some juice, electrolytes in it, to get that blood volume back up to where it was. After that, the next thing that bounces back is what's called our plasma. Now, the best way that works for my brain to describe plasma is like the netting within the blood that holds and carries all of the other stuff that's in our blood. So that bounces back within about 24 hours, which is fantastic. The one after that is our white blood cells. So they're a key part of our immune system, and they take a few days to bounce back. So this is one of the reasons it asks in the UK and on donation form, have you had any colds, coughs, illnesses, anything like that in the few days before, not only for the safety of your blood being given to other people who might be quite ill. You don't want any cold viruses, kind of floating, or other viruses floating around in there that might harm them. But it's also for your health. We don't want to be taking out 10% of those white blood cells if your body's fighting something off in the background. So that's why you need to be kind of feeling 100% fit and well in order to donate. Now, the two final components I'm going to talk about are probably of more interest to those of us who train, and that's red blood cells and also specifically haemoglobin. So red blood cells are the ones that carry oxygen around our body and take it to the muscle cells, to all of us, basically brain, different organs, in order to help our body function. And haemoglobin is the chemical that really helps with that, an iron-based chemical that really, really helps. It's a key part of the processes that go on inside those red blood cells. So red blood cells themselves take between 4 to 6 weeks to bounce back to pre-donation levels, and haemoglobin, that sort of oxygen-carrying iron-based chemical, can take between 6 and 12 weeks. Why are there larger ranges? Because it does vary quite a bit between men and women. Women have a slower sort of creation of haemoglobin and of red blood cells because we process iron differently because of our female hormones. So it takes a little bit longer for women to bounce back to the red blood cell and haemoglobin counts pre-donation. That's one of the key reasons why we have a longer donation interval, so we're not allowed to donate blood as frequently. What can you do to help with that? Iron supplementation, or making sure you eat plenty of iron-rich foods in your diet. So, top examples of red meat, green leafy vegetables like broccoli, kale, spinach, etc. So we can do something to kind of help speed that up, but it's worth bearing in mind, I guess. It's not saying you don't donate. I mean, if you're a top level athlete and preparing for the Olympics at the moment, probably don't donate blood, but it's worth bearing in mind when planning our training. So if you've got a race coming up, you've got an autumn marathon and it's in the middle of October, you might want to think about timing your blood donation, a good 2 or 3 months maybe 2-3 months in advance, and then doing another one afterwards, not having it in that peak build up to the race. And so it's going to be out of, those impacts are going to be out of your system before the race itself. So stuff to bear in mind, and hopefully some useful information that will make you feel good about giving blood. Incredibly useful thing to do to help everyone, from people that have been in accidents, women that have had babies, people that have long-term health conditions like sickle cell anemia, people who are getting cancer treatment. Hugely helpful for lots of different humans for lots of different reasons. But bearing in mind, particularly if you're training hard for longer events, that timing around those events and the training that you want to do for them. Hope that's useful.